All right. Good morning, guys, and welcome to another Digital Jamaica Live show. My name is Katie Francis, And it's good to have you here, wherever you're listening or watching from. Whether it's Instagram, because I'm attempting to do Instagram and do this at the same time. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. Or if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube or Twitter, wherever you're watching this from, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, as I was saying to the guys on Instagram for the last two shows, I've been saying that I was going to show you guys my secret formula to growing my brands and making money online. Because for the last, what, 4 years, that's what I've been doing. And I kind of, it wasn't even something I set out trying to create or wanting to create. It's just something that came intuitively. So while I was learning how to, you know, build a brand and get the brand out there and talk about what it is that we do and all that good stuff, you learn things along the way, which is why, it's very intuitive. And these are the things that, and so while I'm learning these things, I'm kind of making a note of what these things are. And at the end of it, I've kind of come up with a strategic framework that I have been able to use over and over again to, most importantly, to be honest, to put myself out there so I can make some money. And so I'm going to be talking to you guys about the VRT Strategic Framework. It's called the VRT Strategic Framework, but the VRT stands for something. But before we do that, a word from our sponsor, or our sponsor, G5 Cybersecurity, protecting your online assets. Visit g5cybersecurity.com to see if you are compliant with the Data Protection Act, and as well, to get some quotations and consultations to make sure that you don't get hacked, because people hacking everybody these days, right? Anyways, guys, so as I said, if you're on Instagram, if you're watching this from Instagram, I'm actually live on YouTube and I'm going to show the presentation, but I'll walk you through it here so it is fine. So let me just quickly bring up this presentation so I can get started. So pretty much the VRT strategic framework, VRT stands for three things: visibility, relevance, and timing. For me, these are the three most important things that you need to get right online in order to be successful online. And we're going to talk about this and I'm going to tell you why. So let's break it down and look at what these three things are. So we're talking about visibility. We're talking about being seen online. And if you've been in any one of my classes, you would have heard this spiel before, right? So anybody can go online and create some social media channels and create a YouTube channel, but that's not a guarantee that you're going to become visible. And it's also not a guarantee that you're going to become visible to the people that you need to be visible to. And that's important. So you don't just want to be visible, you want to be visible to the right people, the people that you have some kind of message to share, or the people who would be more likely to gravitate towards whatever it is that you're talking about, whatever your message is, whatever your product or your brand is. The people who are most likely to gravitate there, those are the people that you need to become visible to. But visibility is more than just, hey, I'm here, awareness, look at me. It's also about being relevant to the people that you are talking to, right? Relevance is important. So awareness, visibility is one side of the coin. And on the other side of the coin, we have relevance. And relevance is about not just being relatable, but being interesting. People are going to gravitate to spaces that they see some kind of interest in, or there's some kind of value in that space for them. That's where they're going to spend their time. So awareness, visibility, and relevance, which is interest and relatability. And then the third one is timing. Timing is important because it's about how you're going to be positioning yourself right throughout the entire time. For the entire time you're online, you're positioning yourself. and it's about how you're going to position yourself so you can jump on an opportunity when it comes up, or you can create an opportunity when the situation is right for you to create the opportunity. So these are the three pillars I say of online growth: visibility, relevance, and timing. But supporting these three pillars are what I call building blocks, right? And there are four building blocks that I call the four C's. They're channels and communication. So under each pillar, there are building blocks, right? So with visibility, the building blocks are channels and communication. And when we're talking about channels, we are talking about the places online that you want to be visible in. So is it social media? Is it YouTube? Is it your website? Is it a podcast? Is it a blog? We tend to limit, and this is what I noticed with creators in Jamaica, we tend to limit where we put our brand so it becomes visible to people, and we tend to stick very closely to social media. But as I tell you guys in my class all the time, social media is not digital. It is not the only online platform. There are multiple other online platforms, multiple other online spaces that you could put your brand in so it becomes visible, so you can attract people and you can, engage people. So channels, when I'm talking about channels, I'm talking about the spaces online that you're going to build your brand in. And as I said, social media, whether it's a blog, podcast, website, sometimes, and this is what I did, it is necessary for you to have multiple channels. So my approach is always a multi-channel approach. So there's a Digital Jamaica blog, there's a Digital Jamaica podcast, there's Digital Jamaica social media platforms, we have a website. We're literally everywhere you could think to be online. And why that is important, or was important for me, was because I knew I would be talking to different sets of people. So when I'm on Instagram, I'm talking about a particular thing, but when I'm on the podcast or when I'm on the blog, I can now expand expand the value, really, because you're limited to what you can post on a social media platform, right? So on Instagram, you're limited to maybe a 1 hour video, and who's going to sit down on Instagram and watch a 1 hour video? You know what I mean? So it's really short form content when you're on social media platforms. So memes, the stupid reels, I hate reels, but reels, and other short format type of content. But in order for you to cement that expertise, or exercise that expertise rather, and get people to understand that I actually know what it is that I'm talking about, and I actually make sense, you need space to expand your thought process so people can deep dive in your mind, if this is making any sense to you. So on the podcast, I have an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours, to completely dissect a topic, so I can fully explain to you what it is that I'm talking about and why this thing is relevant to you, right? I can't necessarily do that on Instagram. On a blog, I can fully dissect a topic. I can link you off to other spaces. There's so many ways, and the SEO value for these other platforms too, they're important. So on different platforms, I get, especially platforms that are owned platforms, so your podcast, your blog, your website, etc., you have room to expand the thought process and allow people to really understand who you are and what your genius is, really. And again, the SEO value of those spaces are important, because I found, especially in the first year or so, that most people were finding me through the podcast, actually, not necessarily Instagram. So when I get emails from people, or when I get messages from people, say, hey, I just listened to a podcast episode, or I was just on your website. So the SEO value of those spaces tend to be a little bit better than social media platforms. And so there are things that you can do on the website, on the web, to expand your reach and push your brand out there as well, which is why I think it is important for you to have multiple channels that you are branding yourself on, not just social media, guys. That's important. So that's what I'm talking about, channels, where you're going to position yourself and the different spaces that you're going to position your branding. And another thing that is important for you to know is that even though you're on multiple channels, you need to Be differentiated. It should be one seamless experience across all your channels, but you should also ensure that you are not repeating content on all the channels. Well, not too often, because then you can create what we call content fatigue, where if you have the same content running across all your platforms and you have similar audiences on the platforms, then they're just going to be seeing the same content over and over again. So you have to make sure that you streamline your content for the different platforms that you're on, because they're going to go to the different channel. The people who are engaging with you on different channels want to see different things from you, if that makes sense. All right. So that's it for channels. Also on the channels, really communication is a part of channels, because you're talking about how you're going to be communicating with the persons on these platforms, the type of communication that you're going to be doing on these platforms. So is it going to be in terms of written? Is it going to be written communication? Is it going to be audio? Is it going to be video? There are different type of communication formats for these different platforms, and you really have to get comfortable with all of them. I'm not saying you should be an expert in all of them, but you have to get comfortable in all of them, because I find that having a space where you can be visible, like this, where I'm talking directly to an audience and you can see me, that is different from hearing me listening to a podcast, and that's different from seeing how I write and how I express myself in writing. These different things together can really cement or drive home your expertise to your audience and actually build relationships with your audience. So the way you communicate on these platforms are important. So when we're looking at channels and communication, there are some variables that you have to bear in mind. And there are three variables: the audience, the message, and how frequently you're pushing your brand and your messaging out there. These things are important. So your audience, again, these are the people that your brand is for, the people that you want to communicate with your brand, the people that you, again, want to be visible to. These are the people who you're either selling something to, or you're wanting them to take an action, or whatever it is, or you have your brand is about some solutions or problem solving for that group of people or groups of people, because you can have multiple audience segments, right? So you have to first be able to readily and properly identify your audience. And I think this is where a lot of us get it wrong. We're not able to properly identify our audience because we don't necessarily have a plan. And and this is important too, guys, because some of us just, I think I should be on Instagram because everybody's on Instagram. I think I should be on Twitter because everybody's on Twitter. And so we're doing these things because everybody else is doing it, but we don't have a plan behind why we're actually doing this thing. Why are we spending so much time and effort on Instagram? Is that really where my audience is? Is that the best platform to reach and be able to communicate with my audience? You don't know because you never really did any kind of research. You just jump on Instagram because people are on Instagram. So it's important for you to know where your audience is. And it's also important for you to know what it is that they want to hear. And this is where the messaging part comes in. So what is it? What are you going to say to them? What do you need to tell them in order to convince them that, yeah, you're legit? Because you have a lot of people online talking lots of stuff. Not all of it necessarily makes sense. And so you have to make sure that your messaging is crafted in such a way where people will understand the value that you bring to them and why it is that they need to care about you and whatever it is that you're out here saying, right? So, and also the frequency with which you're going to be pushing that message out there, going on Instagram or Twitter or wherever and posting one piece of content periodically is not going to work. You're not going to grow very much if you do that. So you're going to have to create a schedule of how frequently you're going to be communicating with these people. So are you going to be doing a podcast once a month or twice a month, or how often are you going to be posting your podcast? How often are you going to be posting a blog? How often are you going to go live on Instagram or live on YouTube or wherever? How often are you going to be making contact with your audience? Because frequency is important to establish relationships and for audience conditioning. Audience conditioning simply means the things that you are going to do over and over again, so your audience get familiar with those things so they know, okay, every Saturday at 10 a.m., Katie does a live stream on Digital Jamaica. And so they come back every Saturday at 10 a.m. for that live stream. They don't have to keep guessing when next you're going to be posting or publishing content. So you're conditioning your audience. And part of that conditioning is getting them to take that action. So if they know that every Saturday I go live and I talk about stuff and they find this stuff valuable, they're going to want to come back every single Saturday. So it's me taking these actions with enough frequency to get my audience used to my schedule so I can always have an audience every time I put something out or go live, etc. So that's why frequency is so important. And what are the outcomes? So we're talking about visibility, channels and communication, understanding your audience, crafting a relatable message, a message that will connect with the audience, and talking to and communicating and keeping in contact with your audience with enough frequency. What are the outcomes of that? Well, there are two: awareness and interest. So it's not enough for people to just be aware that you exist. I'm aware that Xerox Jamaica exists. I don't know what Xerox Jamaica does, but I know they exist. So it's not enough for you to know that this brand exists or this business exists. You also need to know why they exist or what's the purpose of this brand or business. And again, why should I care about this brand or business? That's where the interest part comes in. So you have to generate interest as well, not just awareness. And that's a little bit more difficult and that takes a lot more work. And no, just posting is not sufficient to generate interest, right? You have to be visible, yes, be relatable, yes, and that's what we're going to talk about next. Relevance. Why relevance is important and how that can help you generate interest. So one side of the visibility coin is awareness. People know you exist, yay, good for you. And the other side of the awareness coin, of the visibility coin, is, oh, they exist. This is interesting. Let me check it out. Interest, right? So that's visibility for you. The next pillar is relevance. And that's where your content comes in. So the building block under relevance is content. And content is super important. And I know you have heard that content is important before, but I don't think we really understand content, because we are, again, we limit our own selves. And by we, I'm talking about Jamaican creators and even some Caribbean creators. We limit ourselves with the type of content that we create and we put out there, because guys, content creation is a bitch. It's hard, it's difficult, it's not a fun thing to do, which is why you need to be intentional with the type of content that you are creating, because nobody creates content for fun unless you are one of those big creators that you have an entire team behind you. You can just create something and they will do the editing, they will do the copy, they will do the publishing. All you have to do is just show up and be great. As a small brand, as a small creator, you may not have those kinds of things. You may not have that kind of resource. And so you have to be very intentional with the type of content that you are creating and putting out online, which is why the multi-channel approach is so important, because you then have you have options now. So it, as I said, it can be audio content, it can be video based content, it can be downloadables, it can be so many different types of content, so many different formats of content. But the more diverse the content, I think the more diverse the content is, the quicker you're going to grow and expand your reach and expand your expertise out into the space as well. Because again, people are experiencing the different sides of your thought process to the different pieces of content, to the different formats that you are creating. And this is why content is so important. But there are three things you need to consider when you're thinking about the type of content that you want to create for your brand and your business. The attention that you want to get, the connection that you want to make, and the influence that you want to generate from this content. The content does a lot of the heavy lifting. Content is multi-purpose. It's not just so people can see you talk. That is not just that. But content as well is also about influence. How are you going to influence people to do something? And that is also why content is important. So let's talk about attention. the type of attention that you want to receive with the content you produce. Because some of us, we like the whole, we have become very TikTokized. That's not a thing. We become very much a part of the TikTok culture where we're doing these short, funny, meme type of content because it can go viral. There's a certain viral quality to this kind of content. The problem is you may not be ready to go viral. You may not be ready to have all this attention coming to your platform because you have not yet done the work. So when you create this piece of content and it goes viral and people come to your platform and there's nothing happening there, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose people that you had before, plus the people that are coming to you because they're going, "What is this?" So so it's like, yeah, okay. This is probably gonna be a bad analogy, but it's an analogy nonetheless. You ever meet this nice guy, good looking, or this nice girl? If you're a guy watching, she cute, she good looking, nice, but her personality is missing. She don't have none. Her entire personality is that she's cute and good looking. That's it. There's nothing else happening. Nothing else happening between the ears there. That's kind of the same thing. So this piece of content is setting people up to think, hey, this is so cool. This is a cool channel. And then when they go there, nothing is happening on your channel. It was just a fluke, and you went viral because, right? So you want to make sure that when you are creating content, you are ready for the type of attention that you are attracting to your platform. So when they come there, they see that there are other things happening on your platform, right? And they can start engaging with these other things that are happening on your platform. So you're giving them more substance than this piece of content. The other thing is, all attention is not good attention. Let me say it again. All attention is not good attention. We have to, it's not just that you want people to see you, you want a certain type of people, you want quality engagement. That's what I'm trying to say. You want quality engagement on your content, from your content, right? You don't want spam, you don't want bots, and you don't want people showing up and engaging with your content for the wrong reasons. And you might think, no, I actually want people engaging with my content. Fine, but you actually want that engagement to mean something and to help your content reach more people, right? I'm hoping that's the goal because, as I said, content creation is hard enough for only one set of people to be seeing it, and it's not even the right set of people anyway, which means that the message is not going to connect, which means nothing is going to happen after that. So you want quality engagement, quality attention on your content, which goes right back to understanding your audience and being careful with how you communicate with your audience. So this is why that is important. This is why the communication is important, and understanding and the messaging has to be important as well, right? So quality attention. The other thing is connection. How are you connecting? What are the connections that you want to make with the audience? What do you want them to know about your brand? What do you want them to associate your brand with? What kind of goodwill are you generating within your community or for your audience that will make them want to connect with your brand? Because I follow a lot of people on different platforms. It doesn't mean I have a connection with them. I follow them for different things, right? Or you can say that maybe that is the connection because you're following them for specific things. But there are certain channels I go back to time and time and time again because for whatever reason, I would have connected with the content that they're creating or with the person behind the brand. And that makes me want to go back to the channel and watch what it is that they're doing. And so you have to decide, and it's a decision that you make about the type of connection that you want to have with your audience, what you want them to know about you, and how you want them to see themselves in your brand. Because I think I can say that in terms of Digital Jamaica community, people come to the space to learn things. It's really a learning space and information space, but it's also a space that people come to find other people, interestingly enough. People come to Digital Jamaica to see who I'm talking about on that channel because I'm always talking about some other creator, some other brand, because that's what the channel is about. promoting digital culture, pushing digital culture. So I'm going to be talking about the people who are impacting the culture. And this is a good segue into the Digital Jamaica people to watch. Nominations are now open. So far, guys, if you can believe it, we've had over 200 nominations. And this was since Monday, Tuesday. We've had over 200 nominations. I'm super chuffed by that. So if you've not yet gone and nominated, the link is in our bio on all our platforms, or you can visit our website, thedigitaljamaica.com, and you'll see the link there to nominate. So, and that is another way I'm making connection with my audience, guys. So creating programs, incentivizing your audience to want to come back, creating programs that will help your audience, again, the value added aspect of your brand. That is also how you, in fact, that's the main way how I've been able to build connection with my audience. And the last thing is, once I'm attracting quality attention, quality engagement, and I am making the right kinds of connection, and I'm building that trust relationship with my audience, because that is super important, influence will naturally come. Influence is not something you have to engineer, it is automatic. Once your content is good, once you're getting the quality engagement, once you're making connections with your audience, the influence will come. Some people start off wanting to be influencer, and that's not how it works. That's not how it works. Having a lot, and this is why people think that they need a lot of followers. You don't need a lot of followers. You need the right kind of followers. Right now, Digital Jamaica has less than 5,000 followers on Instagram. We have about 900 and something subscribers on YouTube. We have maybe 1,600 on Twitter. Yeah, so the numbers are not sexy. And you're thinking, oh, well, I know this person with 22,000 odd followers. Okay, that's nice. And having a lot of followers, I will admit, is sexy. It looks really, really nice on your profile. When somebody visits your profile and it says 22,000 or 100,000. But that's because you don't understand maths and how these algorithms actually work. Because the more, and I'm not saying that that shouldn't be a goal. I'm not saying that it shouldn't be a goal for you to want more followers. But the more followers you have is the less engagement you're going to get. And that's automatic. It is impossible for you to reach 100,000 people every single time. It's going to be impossible. People are going to forget they follow you. People are going to fall off. And then you lose that personalization. As small brand and creators, we have the advantage of being able to personalize our message and connect with our audience, because the audience is smaller and it's less of an audience and more of a community. So I'm going to use the word community from here on out, right? So it's less of an audience and more of now creating communities. Okay? And so this is why small influencers, micro influencers tend to do better in terms of engagement than bigger influencers, right? And so influence, as I'm saying, comes naturally. And even though you may have a small audience, and even though Digital Jamaica has a small audience, I was able to parlay Digital Jamaica into a different brand, Digital Disruption Agency, and I was able to comfortably make money through the Digital Disruption Agency, where I didn't have to work for anybody for the last 3 years. Comfortably being able to generate money doing that, and with the small audience I have, because again, it's about being seen by the right people. That's it, guys. Being seen by the right people, not being seen by everybody, but being seen by the right people and building a community, because my community can get me into spaces that I couldn't have been in, spaces I didn't even know existed. And this is where the influence comes in, because my community realized the value that I brought to that space, and I brought to digital community. When they're in a meeting and they say, we want somebody to come in and talk about digital marketing. Oh, Kadia from Digital Jamaica does that. And that is how I've ended up in multiple spaces that I had no business being in, because if you look at the numbers don't tell you that I should be in those spaces. But numbers lie, and y'all can't do maths. Just saying. Or let's put it a different way. When it comes to digital marketing, the maths differently. right? So it's about community and having that kind of influence over our community where they carry your name into spaces that you don't even know exist and spaces that you by yourself could not have gotten in. And that is how I landed my first um, paid speaking engagement. And it wasn't even a speaking engagement, it was a training. The very first thing I was paid for was training, and that was Kingston Creative. I don't know how Kingston Creative came across Digital Jamaica or came across me, but they did, and they reached out and they're like, hey, pandemic, we want to have a boot camp for online creators. Create some content for us and come and teach it. And that was my first paid gig, right? And and you see the guys, you see once you land your first paid gig, it tends to careen and it tends to snowball. And that's literally what happened. I've done over 150 speaking engagements. I have done workshops, trained over 5,000 people in Jamaica and across the Caribbean so far. I've been on UN platform talking about technology and how it has changed how we communicate with people who have that top in front of their name. Mhm. Right, it snowballs, it snowballs, it snowballs. So that's where influence come in, but the influence was automatic. I did not start out wanting to be an influencer. I still don't consider myself an influencer. I'm not of the crowd that says influence is a bad word. I don't think influence is a bad thing. I don't think being an influencer is a bad thing. I just think we have a fundamental misunderstanding of what being an influencer is. And as again, it's not something that you engineer, but something that comes automatically once you are creating value for people, for your audience, for your community, it will come. All right. So, what are the outcomes of relevance, being generating interest in your brand, in your business as a small creator brand business, whatever? Relatability, so they can see themselves in what I'm doing. They get value from what I'm doing. I'm related. I'm being relatable to them. They can understand what I'm saying. And if you and I keep saying this, guy, you're gonna hear it a lot. If you've been in any of my classes, right? I talk about that relatability factor and why that relatability factor is so important. So when I'm doing case study, when I'm teaching a class and I'm doing a case study and I say, like Terry Carell or like Kalila Reynolds or like Joel Namdarkum or any one of these people that you know, I'm being relatable because I am then connecting what I am saying to people that you already know, brands that you already know, and then saying, hey, this is how they did this. And you can relate to these brands because you know them, they're local, same background as you, they're in Jamaica, they're doing their thing right here. And so it becomes possible. What I'm saying now becomes not just theory, but possible because here are these other relatable brands that are also doing the thing. And so I also become, what I'm saying also become relevant to you. You see how that works, right? And it's also about trust. You cannot build relationships if there is no trust. And I talk about the theory of reciprocity in my digital marketing class. Reciprocity just means value exchange. You are generating a community, and this is where community marketing, this is why community marketing is important. And Digital Jamaica has thrived on community marketing. That's how we make money from community marketing, right? Because we are building up what I like to call goodwill. And what is goodwill? Goodwill is my intentions are to come here and give value to the persons that are watching, to the persons that I consider part of my community. And I'm talking to a very specific set of people. I'm talking to people who are involved in the digital space in Jamaica. That's what I'm talking to. Sometimes I'm talking to people who are involved in the digital space in the Caribbean, but I'm really mostly speaking to Jamaican people. That's a crowd, right? And so my intention is to give value to that crowd. And because I'm giving value to that crowd, I'm building goodwill, I'm generating goodwill with that audience, and that goodwill is going to translate because that's what reciprocity is. I give you value, you give me value. And that goodwill is going to translate into money Why? Because I can now leverage my community that I've built, that already trust me, that I've now generated influence over, right? I can now leverage that community to earn, for earning opportunities. And that community helps me do that by, again, taking me with them into spaces that I don't know exist, and that I would not have gotten into but for members of my community, but for the value that I offer my community and the value that my community sees in me. Because let me tell you something, you can think you're out here giving value to people, and you know that emoji? So you think you're offering value, you think you're creating something of value, and your community is going, no, not really, not quite, okay? Okay? So it's not what you think is valuable, it's what the community thinks is valuable. It's not what you think, it's what the community thinks, it's what the community finds value in. That's also important. So it's not about you, it's about them. And once you understand that, you fare a lot better, right? So yeah, it's about being relatable, generating goodwill, reciprocity, value exchange, because all of that builds trust and it builds loyalty. I can't tell you how many times per week somebody message me and go, "Hey, I see this thing. They're stealing your content, or they're stealing your branding," or somebody will come to me. So the Digital Jamaica people to watch, shameless plug again, nominations now open. Digital Jamaica people to watch was not a new idea to me. It was not an idea I came up with. So yes, it's a relationship. Love your partner how they appreciate. Okay. So it's not a concept I came up with. This whole people to watch thing is something that just about every brand does, every major organization does. It's an effort to highlight and promote people. It's also content. Let's be honest, it's content. It's good content. It's goodwill content. It's generating goodwill amongst your community, because these are people in the community nominating other people from the community, and you're promoting these people in the community, and they're talking about it, and other people talking about it. Just goodwill, part upon goodwill, part upon goodwill. Trust, right? But ever since Digital Jamaica became, I'd like to say known, I hesitate to use the word popular, but ever since it became known, every single time somebody else in the local space does a people to watch something, people go, "You see this person thieving your people to watch thing?" I was like, it's really fine. It's something that other people do. I get that all the time. And this is why I said the trust and loyalty that you can generate in a community is invaluable, because it also insulates you as a brand. It's a protection mechanism for your brand or your business, because they will defend you, they will push you out there, they will talk about you, and again, get you into certain spaces. So that's important. And the last one, guys, the last pillar under the visibility, relevance, and timing strategic framework is timing. So there's a saying that I came across while I was doing the research, and it says, good timing is seamless, it's invisible, you don't even notice it. Bad timing, in your face like a big red alert, right? It's very visible, it sticks out like a sore thumb. That's the quote. And sometimes you see people launch certain things and they do certain things, and you just know where this is going. You know that this is not about community or anything like that. This is just a money making thing. So the timing is off and all things is off. And even people who are legit in the space doing things because they want to build connections and stuff, sometimes they don't capitalize on opportunities because they have not properly positioned themselves to capitalize. And I was one of those people. Back in 2019, one of the first things I was doing in January 2019, brand new year, was I was at the was it Rise and Shine? I think it was a Rise and Shine conference. If I'm messing up the name, I'm sorry. And I was invited to be a panelist there, and I made a shirt. I don't know how many of you guys remember the shirt that says "Big Bumbleclot Blogger." I don't know how many of you remember that shirt. That shirt, when I tell you I got more attention for that shirt than I did for the actual thing that I spoke about on the panel. And everybody was like, we need that shirt. We want that shirt. Can I get something else instead of blogger? Can I get podcaster? Can I get YouTuber? Can I get Instagram? Can I get something else on that shirt? And I'm like, yeah, I was not ready. I literally was just creating something for myself. I was not ready for the type of attention that shirt got. Remember, we talked about attention earlier. I was just not ready for the type of attention that shirt got. And because I wasn't in a position to capitalize on the opportunity, people are asking to buy the shirt. I have not sold one shirt. I have not sold one shirt. I took about 24, 25 orders, did not sell one shirt because none of those orders went out. I got overwhelmed so quickly because the timing was off. I didn't anticipate the kind of a connection, and I wasn't in a position to take advantage of the opportunity that came to me because of branding, because it's branding, right? And so this is why consistency is important. So consistency, this is the fourth building block. So we have channels, communications, content, and consistency. I call them the 4 C's, right? So consistency is the last C. And why is consistent? What is the relevance between consistency and timing? Because if you are not consistently putting yourself out there and doing the work, then you're not positioning. And if you're not positioning, you're not going to be able to capitalize on opportunities that come to you or being able to generate or create opportunities for yourself. So that is why consistency is so important. So when I say to you guys, what is the goal? Because I do what I call growth phases. I literally sit down and map out growth phases for Digital Jamaica and my other brands. And I say, okay, this is what I want to achieve by X time. And I know that I hit this growth phase when this thing happens. And I do that for all the growth phases that my business is going to go through. And I do that every single year. The top of every single year, the November, December before I start doing my strategic planning for the year ahead, and I set my growth phases, right? And that is a part of the whole goal setting. You have to, again, be intentional about how you are putting your brand and your business out there. You don't go and try to attract attention, and then when you get the attention, you don't know what you want to do with the attention because you had no plan. You had no plan. There was no goals. There was just nothing. It was just vibes. You were just existing on vibes, right? So you have to sit down and you have, and when I say sit down and plan, I mean plan on paper. Plan on paper. That's what I mean. Yeah, not just in your head. Because when I'm doing consultations with people and I'm like, okay, so what's the goal? What's the plan? And it's in their head. They're trying to figure it out from their head. No, guys, write it down on a piece of paper, type it up on the computer, put it on your notes app in your phone, write it down, right? Because then you have some place where you can go back to look it over and see what it is that you had said, what was the thought process behind it. Do an audio, record it via audio. However you are documenting it, make sure you document it, right? Because having set those goals can help you now decide, okay, what do I want to be in this space? What kind of brand do I want to be in this space? How do I want to be viewed in this space? What's the lane I'm going to occupy in this space? And guys, occupying lanes is important because once you are in that lane and you're staying in that lane, you're consistently staying in that lane and you're driving the hell and dominating that lane, you are carving out a space for yourself within that market, within the community, whatever. And that is going to be important going forward because then you can capitalize on that, going back to the content, getting the attention, building connections, and having influence over a certain, over your audience, over your community. So positioning is very important. So let's talk about dominating lanes now, right? What time is it? Because need to wrap this up quickly because on the People and Product segment we have Rashidi Thomas from Gift Me, and we're going to do a 1-year check-in with Rashidi. So after this, guys, I'm ending this and going back to the live stream on YouTube to talk to Rashidi. So if you want to hear about that, you can jump over to YouTube. So dominating a lane just means this is the thing I want my brand to become known for. And I am going to ride that lane, right? Carve out that space and beat it to death, because that is what I want my brand to be known for. This is what I want people to associate my brand with. This is the value I'm giving to the community and I want them to know. And that's what I did with Digital Jamaica. What people know Digital Jamaica for is information and promotion. That's what people know. If you want to find out who is doing what in the digital space, go to Digital Jamaica. If you want to find out who is offering a product or a service or whatever in the digital space, go over to Digital Jamaica. If you want to understand and know more about digital culture in Jamaica, especially as it relates to creators, creator culture, Digital Jamaica, and I would say Kingston Creative, of course. Kingston Creative is the person who's dominating the creative space in Jamaica, right? So become known for something within that space. Carve out a niche in that space that your brand is going to be associated with, that your brand is going to be known for, and that's how you position yourself. Pick a lane and dominate that lane. That's positioning. And then the third thing is create habits. Not just habits for you internally, as in, okay, I post on a Friday. This is the content I post on a Friday. This is my process for doing that. So again, you condition your audience to know that on a Friday at 12 o'clock, a video, go and watch it. But it's also creating habits for yourself, because as I said, building a brand online is not easy, because a lot of it, the major part of it is generating content. Generating content is not easy. So you have to be intentional. And being intentional means you're creating habits, you're conditioning your audience, and you're executing in a consistent way. Consistency. You're executing in a consistent way. And what's the outcomes of that? Well, again, you're in a better position to jump on an opportunity or to create opportunities for yourself. And you're also building community, and you're conditioning that community. And so you can leverage that community. You want to be able to create opportunities, leverage opportunities, build communities, leverage communities. That's why it is so important, right? So you may start out as say you want your brand to be known for digital marketing. So that's your thing, right? You start out talking about digital marketing, you may go into training, you may create digital resources, downloadables, etc. You create videos, you create audio, whatever it is, you start building up your value added now. Because you don't have to stay just talking on Instagram. You can start creating courses. You can start creating downloadables. You can start creating podcasts. You can start building up on the value from where you started from. And to do that, you need timing. Timing is important, right? So that's it, guys. That's the VRT, the visibility, relevance, and timing strategic framework. And I need to explain what a strategic framework to you is, guys. So let me stop sharing my presentation and go back to the live stream. So a strategic framework. Oh, you missed last week live, Andrew. Hey. Okay. So a strategic framework is not a strategy. It is the blueprint for your strategy. It is how you actually start implementing it is actually what will help you to devise your strategy, which is why under the strategic framework, those 4 building blocks, the 4 C's, channels, communication, content, and consistency, these are the 4 things that you need to account for in your strategy. In your strategy, it needs to say, what are the channels you're going to be building on, how you're going to communicate, the type of content you're going to be producing, and how you're going to do that consistently. That needs to be in your strategy. So the 4 building blocks, the 4 C's, are the 4 components of your strategy. And then the variables, the audience, the messaging, the influence, the connection, the attention, the goal setting, the habits, all of those things are variables that you're considering when you're actually building out these different core components. So when you're looking at channels, Where am I gonna be? What is my audience? Is the audience? Do I have an audience on that channel? Because that is how you're gonna decide. Do I have an audience on this channel, and can I get people to that channel? That's another thing altogether. Can I get people from Instagram to listen to a podcast, to watch a YouTube? Right? So all these variables are the things that you need to consider when you are building out those 4 core components of your strategy. Right? So that's literally how the framework works. So I know what are the 3 things I'm trying to get right. I'm trying to become visible. I'm trying to become relevant, and I'm making sure that I'm positioning myself so I can create opportunities or leverage opportunities. And that's where the timing comes in. So these are the things, these are the big pillars. And then you have the 4 core components or elements, or the 4 C's. And then you have the variables that you need to consider. So that's how the strategic framework works. So I know I went over a lot and I kind of went through it very quickly, but I am actually doing a workshop, the VRT Strategic Framework workshop. It's free. It's free, but there's a catch. There's always a catch. There's always a catch. The catch is you have to, in order to access the workshop, you have to be a part of our Digital Learning Hub community. And I'm going to quickly talk about that because Rashid is here and I don't want to keep you waiting. So we're gonna let me show you. Let me show you what I've been up to. Let me show you what I've been doing. Right. The window. Ooh. Okay. Here it is, guys. So this is the what's happening? Right. This is the Digital Learning Hub. Guys, you have to be on YouTube to see what's happening here. So this is the Digital Learning Hub. It's a community. It's another community I have. And this community is very specific. It's specifically for small Caribbean-based business brands and creators. So literally, on that platform, I'm pretty much teaching you everything I know about all the different things I know about, and teaching you how I learn about them so you can learn about them too. Or, okay, let me go again. I'll be teaching you how I learn to do certain things so you can learn to do that thing too. It's community inception here, guys, right? And it's a relaunch because I'd actually launched a community before, and then burnout hit. Personal tragedy hit, all sorts of shit happened, and I couldn't do it anymore. So I'm relaunching the community, and these are all the stuff that you're gonna get. So you'll get access to a private blog. I do weekly tutorials. You get accountability check-ins because we're not just here to soak up content. We're here to learn and interact with other people. So we're gonna be partnering up with other people to keep ourselves accountable. So once we say, guys, I want to post a YouTube video every week, you're going to have people in there going, did you post that video though? Did you record the video? Are you editing? What's happening? So you're going to have accountability check-ins. And of course, there are going to be premium perks because I got to eat, right? And as I said, content creation is hard. So there are going to be courses. I'm going to be doing boot camps. I'm going to invite experts because y'all know how I like to invite people in to come tell me the things because I don't think I know everything. So I like to go to the people who know the things and say, come here, come talk to these people, please. Like how last week I had the accountant on. Yeah, love that. And then all the content I generate are going to be in a video vault where you can have on-demand access to, paid access to. And so you can watch them at your own leisure. So there's a lot of things that will be happening in the community. And this is just a community I wish I had, or a space I wish I had when I was just starting. Because me did a box boat. When we did just start, me did a box boat and all over the place. And I don't know what. And so I wish there was a space like this that I had for Jamaicans. Now these spaces exist, but not necessarily that's relevant to me as a Jamaican person. So this is one of the spaces I wish I had, and so I'm creating this space so other people don't wish they had this space, because instead of wishing, do it, right? So I did it. So tomorrow I'm having a relaunch Q&A, I guess. So I'm going to be going live and talking about what the Digital Learning Hub is about, what you can expect, activities and programs, all sorts. Next week, if you are in the hub, we're going to be doing the VRT workshop. And then we're going to have a virtual Christmas hangout that you guys will hear more about once you are in the hub. There is also a YouTube channel, guys, because y'all know how I love to struggle with YouTube. Yes. So let me show you my YouTube channel. Oh Lord. So there's nothing on it yet. There's 2 videos up there now, guys. You can go check it out. It's called Digital Learning Hub on YouTube, and I don't think I'm sharing right now. Am I? No, I'm not sharing. So let me show you my YouTube channel real quick. The Digital Learning Hub YouTube channel, so y'all can go check it out. No, wrong YouTube channel. Okay. Okay, here we are. So this is the YouTube channel, guys, and there's already 1 video up. It's called the Digital Learning Hub. There's a welcome video, but there's also a video called there's a video that I did on the JCF, because y'all been seeing those viral social media tweets and posts, right? Well, Inspector Sean J. Mitchell did come to my digital marketing class, and he did give us a comprehensive run through on how he built this strategy and the components of this strategy, and I created a video about it with all the components in there, so y'all can go check it out. It's now up on the channel, and it's called How to Win Over a Tough Audience Using the Jamaica Concept for Social Media Strategy, because those people, Inspector Mitchell knows how to go viral. Okay, so go and check out that video, and yeah, I'm gonna be posting a video every week on the channel. By the end of the day, there'll be some more. Well, maybe not by the end of the day because I'm tired, but there will be more. There will be more videos going up on the channel throughout the course of the day, tomorrow, over the week or so. And so I'll be doing more videos like that because, guys, you know what I realized? I have a shit ton of content. I have a ton of content that I have generated with, that I've just sat on and not done a bloody thing with. And so I'm going to be repurposing those content and putting that content out on the Digital Learning Hub channel. There's also going to be an Instagram channel. I'm not launched that yet. Y'all will know about that tomorrow if you join the Q&A session. So when you go over to our YouTube channel, the link to join the Digital Learning Hub Telegram group, the community, will be there, as well as after this, I'll be dropping it in the Instagram stories, and I'll be posting it all across, so you will not miss. Okay. By the way, guys. By the way, because I need to brag on myself a little bit here. If you're watching on YouTube, do you see my landing page? You want to see how awesome my landing page look? It's Canva. Guys, can you believe that I created this landing page in Canva? Listen, and I did a video showing you exactly how I created, well, not this specific landing page, but how I created this website and published in Canva. So that's the next video that will be going up on the Digital Learning Hub channel. So if you want to know how to do this in Canva, y'all need to check that out, because my landing page is bomb. Okay. All right. So guys, that's really it in terms of, and it was just an overview. Literally, when we get into the workshop, I'm going to go a lot more in depth, and I'm going to be posting the link so you can sign up to the workshop. But again, you have to be in the group to get access to the workshop, because I'm going to talk about all those things that you heard me talk about just now. And y'all know I'm coming with my slides and my case studies and my expert guest people. Y'all know how I do. So if you guys are interested in learning more about that, because 2023 are coming up, I'm sure often who I watch though I want a strategy ready for 2023. For the out there and joke with life and the vibes, right? So join the Telegram group, get access to the workshop, and get yourself ready for 2023. So I'm going to sign off over here on Instagram, guys. If you want to hear more from Rashidi, who is on and is coming up next on our People and Product segment, then head on over to YouTube. Thanks for joining me on Instagram, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'll see you. Join the Telegram group. Go and check out my landing page because it's bomb, right? And go and watch and check out my YouTube channel, the Digital Learning Hub. Bye, guys. All right, and that was it for Instagram, and I will never do that again because that was hard. Rashidi, are you ready? Coming up next, and I am super late and so sorry, Rashidi, is Hi Rashidi.
Hi, Kate, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? What's your big pretty shirt? Your shirt reminds me of Christmas, and I love Christmas.
Well, it is Christmas.
It is yes, 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 yes. And guys, so Rashidi, you've been on the show before, and I think was it last year you were on the show talking about this new venture that you're launching and all that good stuff. And now here you are, a year later, a whole year later, and you guys have now over 200 merchants,
Yes.
Starbucks,
Yep.
Starbucks, and we're just growing and growing and growing and doing the things. And so I want to do a business check, a check-in, a growth check with you, if you will, just to tell people how you've been managing and weathering all the storms as a small business, a small creator over the last year or so. So welcome back to the show, Rashidi.
Thank you, Kate. I'm happy to be on.
For sure, for sure, for sure. So, what has been happening with Give Me? You guys just busted onto the scene and just been kicking ass. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, trust me, it has been exciting. Has
Mhm.
been a lot of hard work. We're just growing and growing and growing. Persons are, becoming more aware of the platform daily. We have on a lot of merchants island wide. We're not only concentrating in Kingston now. We have managed to onboard quite a few big names, which is testament to the growth of the brand, the service that we give, the easy use of our technology, the experience, everything coming together.
Yeah. So, Give Me. Would you agree with me to say that Give Me is like it's a novel idea, right? So, explain to us what Give Me is.
Right. So it's essentially a digital gift card platform.
Mhm.
On the retail side, we have a number of channels, but essentially we allow for anybody anywhere they are in the world to go on our website and buy a gift card, for their loved ones here in Jamaica, um, for over 200 merchants island wide. So we have that side where regular people know about it, and we also have a corporate channel, which is a big channel for us, where a lot of the corporate entities now use us to procure gift cards for their staff members, for their customers, for whatever reason, rewards and recognition, incentives, marketing promotions, you name it.
Yeah, because
And Mhm.
go
Sure, go ahead.
ahead.
What I was saying is, what the most familiar product that we have on the market now is the Gift Me smart card, where,
Oh,
it's essentially, it takes the guessing out of the gifting.
yeah.
So whereas you may have a difficulty in wondering, what do I give Kadia this Christmas, or what do I give XY, and
Money.
what does she like?
Don't have to wonder.
so
Money.
so it is almost like money, because when the
Yeah.
person gets it, they can spend it at multiple locations, multiple
Yeah.
times, where however they want to spend it. So, that's really a fan favorite for us at the moment.
Right. Because listen, if you guys have ever been to foreign, right? The concept of these gift cards, or what they call them, it's not gift cards. So every store that you can think of have their own card, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so you can put a certain amount of money on the card or get cards with a certain value, monetary value, and you
yeah,
can gift that to people to say, hey, go to H&M, go to Gap, go to
yeah,
wherever and redeem
yeah,
whatever with this card, because this card
yeah,
has $100 on it.
yeah,
So you can, and even Amazon does. You can get Amazon
yeah,
cards with different amounts of money, and you can go there and you can redeem it for items that come up to that value, right? So
yeah.
that's what Gift Me is
Yes,
doing
that's
for
exactly what we are, but we're just doing it in
in
a
the
digital
digital
in a digital
space.
format,
And this
right?
is why I like these guys, because they're really impacting the digital culture with stuff like this, because this is you guys were kind of one of the first to do it, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys were one of the first. So I know Gift Me, and there's another brand that does it. But really, I heard of you before I heard of the other brand, and
Yep.
so and I was like, this is cool. Why have nobody ever really thought about that? Because we do have, like, we have the Magna card.
Yeah.
That's a thing. I still
Yeah.
don't know how that works. I've never got a dollar from Magna on all my money.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay, but anyways, um, so I'm like, why wasn't this a thing that somebody would have thought of before? Because it's really genius. Because now you don't have to have a physical card. Because God knows you can lose them things,
Yeah.
right?
So I mean, absolutely, and even the digital card, we've just
Yeah.
made some improvements to our Give Me app. So when you get the card, you can actually
Woo!
save the card in your Give Me wallet. You
Wait, wait,
know.
wait, 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 wait,
Yeah.
wait. Skip over what that's skip over. Y'all have an app.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tell us about that.
Right.
Because
So in
awesome.
the app, so I mean, gifting, we hope what our hope is to really, get
Uh-huh.
gifting to be a part of the culture, right? So
Yes.
persons not only gift for birthday or any occasion, but you're having a bad day, here's a Starbucks gift card, here's a treat to go to
Yeah.
Devon House, right?
It's a
So what
gesture, a
happens?
kind gesture.
Right, kind gestures, right? So what happens is that persons, may get a lot of gift cards, and instead of in the physical world, you get a lot of gift cards, and what happens? You put it in your drawer, you forget about it. You don't even know
Mm-hmm.
where they are sometimes.
Yeah.
So what our app allows you to do is to save the gift card in the app, right, in your
Yeah.
gift in your wallet, and then you always have them on your app. So when you go to different merchants, you can just use
Mm.
it easily. You can find them, you can locate them. The balance is there, everything is there for you, very easy to use type of solution.
Yeah, because if you're like me, they're going to stay in your wallet until they become a part of your wallet. They start sticking to
Exactly,
the wallet.
exactly,
Right.
exactly.
So it's a genius idea, really, because now you can have all these gift cards on your mobile phone. You can, go in your wallet. It's easy to redeem. You just
Yeah,
go in, do they scan? It's the thing that they
that's it.
scan.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, they
That's it.
go in, you scan, and you go about your business. It's
Yeah,
money. It's money
yeah,
in and you guys have a digital wallet.
yes,
Listen.
yes, yes.
Listen, that's a big deal, Rashid. Don't gloss over that.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it's we just made some improvements to it. We haven't really launched it out in the public domain, but a lot of
Right.
persons have been downloading the app. We
Mhm.
plan to make up some more noise about it in the near future.
Yeah.
But this is it's going on very well. As you had mentioned earlier, the popularity of the merchants also is driving it because now,
Yes, because
you know,
Starbucks, Rashidi.
yeah,
Look
Starbucks
at
is
you.
Starbucks honestly has been. I mean, we were trying to get Starbucks on for like a year,
Wow.
and yeah, and if you know
Yeah.
Starbucks being an international brand,
Yeah.
they're very specific about.
The
They're
type of
very
people
specific.
they
Yeah, yeah, the
collaborate
type
with
of
and do
yes,
business with.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and you have to be your technology has to be top tier. Where data, security, etc. is concerned. So we had to really go up the value chain, to the top for them to approve them using a third party digital gift card platform. So it was a huge win for us, working with an international brand and also going through the rigors of getting approval, from a brand like that. So it really put us in a position to be able to,
Pick up
right
the
now, I
chest.
mean, yeah, no, like, yeah, like
Yeah.
we've done it now.
Puff your
So,
chest. Yeah.
definitely. So, I mean, and apart from Starbucks, we also have, companies like Island Grill,
Me know why you
we,
go there so yet. Me know why
you
you go
know,
there so yet. Let's take a minute of Starbucks because I want people watching to
yes,
understand how important or how big of an impact this is. And my lane is always digital. The impact it
yep,
has on digital culture. And I want you guys to understand how big an impact this has on digital culture in Jamaica. Big impact for your business, sure, that's cute.
yeah,
But for the culture, right?
yes, yes,
It's
yes,
big because Rashida said something earlier about, have making sure that you have a platform that an international brand will want to come on, right? So he has an app, and Rashidi, tell him that the apps are very expensive to create and
yes,
expensive to maintain. And one of the
yes,
things that
yes,
will make a app valuable is usership. So you have
yes,
to generate and push people to use that app because if nobody's using the app, it's just not going to make sense for your bottom line.
yeah, yeah,
And so you have to generate an app with a certain standard and quality to get a multinational brand like Starbucks, and I don't carry any kind of water for Starbucks. I don't drink coffee with milk in it. I don't like coffee and I don't like milk. So
Yeah.
no carrying nothing for
Yeah. Yeah.
Starbucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can still appreciate that as a multinational giant of a company, a Jamaican brand, a small Jamaican brand, and I don't mean to call you small in terms of your
No,
capacity. That's what,
no, we're
you're
still
just
small.
starting out. You're
Yes, we're
new.
just
You're
starting.
fresh.
Yes.
You're young. Let's say
Yes.
young. A young Jamaican brand, which is mostly digital based, are able to get them onto their platform. And it took over a year. You said, Rashidi. It took a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a
It did.
big freaking deal. That's
Yes.
a big
Yes.
deal, and that's something that you should definitely celebrate and make a lot of noise about. Because then there's brand synergies as well. So Starbucks would have had to do their due diligence to say who is Give Me, what are they about? Do we want our brand that they spent decades building to be
Absolutely.
associated with this brand? Because one false move from Give Me and Starbucks can find themselves in a whole PR mess. It may
Yes.
not affect
Absolutely.
them, but it will be a mess, right?
Yes.
And so I'm sure they've had to vet you guys, like rigorously vet you
Oh,
guys to make sure that you guys were up to international standards, up to par.
absolutely. Absolutely. So I mean, we had to go through a number of, meetings and, meet with the technical team, and even their brand guidelines.
Oh
We
yeah.
have to definitely do things a little bit different with them. And I can tell you that, Starbucks, if you know the Starbucks history, they are the biggest part of their business is gift cards.
Yeah.
So gift cards for Starbucks is like
Money.
humongous,
It's a lot
humongous,
of
humongous.
money.
They have so many case studies about how Starbucks use gift cards to build their business and stuff like that. It's all
Yeah.
over the internet, right? So it's not a business that they take lightly, right? And it's money, as you rightly said, money. So I mean, it has been a long time coming, and I can tell you that when they actually announced us as being a partner on their channels, immediately persons started to say, oh my god, like we've been waiting for a digital solution for Starbucks gift card, how long?
Yes.
And people just started to buy. And it's I can safely say that it's the most bought gift card right now on our platform,
I can
in terms of
imagine.
in terms of frequency.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
So what does that look like for your bottom line in terms of growth? So you have been able to snag this really huge fish,
Yes.
right? And that's a big feather in your cap. But what does that mean for your bottom line in terms of generating revenue for Gift Me? How does that translate to revenue for Gift Me?
Well, absolutely. So I mean, I can't give specifics,
Of course
you
not.
know. But however, to date we have sold over 50,000 gift cards, to date. And that is also a testament to the brands we have on, right? Because obviously the bigger brands push more gift cards. We have
Right.
also sold, in excess of, I would say, a lot of $1 million worth of gift cards.
Plenty of millions of dollars.
Yes,
I
plenty of
understand.
millions of dollars in terms of gift cards.
Yeah.
And as I said, our intention is to, go wider throughout
Yeah.
Jamaica, because other regions persons have been reaching out to us, on the Instagram, wherever. Hey, when you come into Mandeville, when you
You're
come into here,
gone.
when we're
You're
going there,
gone.
is this merchant on board? Is there a merchant use gift me?
Yeah.
So we were under a lot of
Pressure, growth pressure, and
pressure
this is
to go different directions.
yeah, and growth pressures can be difficult because you've done the work, you're growing, and now the pressure is on you, but you have to be very careful, right, Rashidi, that you
Yeah,
don't, because you're so excited by all the growth and
yeah,
everything that is happening, you jump the
yeah.
gun, and then you can literally screw up everything that you've been
Uh,
working on in
uh,
terms of
uh,
your
uh,
growth.
Absolutely. And that's one of the what would I say? That's one of the things that can happen when you're trying to scale a company.
Yeah.
If you try and scale too fast, without the proper infrastructure and support,
Yes.
necessary in place, and that's one of the things that Give Me actually prides itself in, is being able to have that seamless experience no matter what merchant you go to, you
Yeah.
know.
Another thing too, Rashidi, is, and I said pause, but we can go back to. So yeah, you have Starbucks, huge within your cap, but you also have some very well-known, popular local entities that we know and love in Jamaica on Give Me. So what are some of those entities?
Okay, good. Like so, Island Grill is
Island
one,
Grill.
right? Local bread, local born, fast food chain. We also have Palace Amusement, right? So now you can
Ooh,
buy, yeah, you can buy a Palace
you
Amusement gift
carry
card,
movie tickets.
yeah,
Okay.
and then you can also use the same Palace Amusement gift card to buy popcorn and hot dog and stuff like that at the confectionery stand. So
Good.
before this solution, you weren't able to actually do that. The Palace
Mhm.
Amusement gift card could only be used for admission tickets,
Right.
right? But now you can buy one Palace Amusement gift card, pay for your tickets when you go, and then you can also use that same gift card to then redeem for things at the confectionery stand.
Right. Right.
So it has worked out well, for Paris in that regard. And we have the popular Fontana, Azans, the Devon houses, those type of brands as well. Like, have
Yeah.
done very well.
And talking about synchronicity and synergies between, an entity, would you describe yourself as a digital entity or a tech-based company? How
Well,
would you
we're
describe
we're
it?
we are 100% a tech-based company. So we are
Right,
a tech-based startup,
right.
so to speak. We don't actually even have an office, to be honest. We are fully remote at the moment.
Yeah,
So we are 100%. We were born in COVID.
yeah.
So we filled that gap. We saw an opportunity, whereby person still wanted to gift, but they didn't want to go ahead and risk contracting the virus. So here comes Gift Me, the perfect solution. And since then, that has helped us to grow
Yeah,
significantly, and
for
that us
sure.
being a digital company.
And you being a digital company also helps you to modernize other companies, because I hear you talk about Azans and so on and so forth. Azans barely have a website, and
Yeah.
so
So
know that you are actually helping
no.
your product is actually helping to modernize another entity.
Yeah. So essentially, what Gift Me, what our mantra is to help brick and mortar merchants bridge that digital divide. So
Yeah,
our target audience as it pertains to a merchant is not a e-commerce store, right?
right.
It's a brick and mortar merchant who does
Yeah,
not have the digital know it all or digital infrastructure to create digital products,
right.
right? Gift card is one such product, right? And that's really where our niche is. That's really where our expertise lies. So as you rightly said, Azans, I mean, Azans was one tough cookie to really onboard, because of the legacy systems that are in place at these brick and mortar
Yeah.
merchants, and digital infrastructure, digital,
Not non-existent.
non-existent. So we had to find, creative ways, and user expertise to basically bridge that divide for them. And it was challenging, but we got over it, and it was good because now going through those challenges early, we are now able to handle merchants with very low tech, medium tech, high tech. So we can definitely manage merchants throughout the whole scope of their infrastructure.
Yeah. So you've built this product. This product is multi-purpose because it's for people who want to gift something to someone, whether they're in Jamaica, wanting to gift you, because they can digitally put the money on their card, right?
Yeah,
Online, they can use online and put the money.
yeah,
So you have your little spoogle up safari, yeah, and they want to do something nice for your family overseas, and they want to do something nice for you. Put the money on your card, or
yeah,
get your gift card, and you
yeah,
can just go about the thing instead of having to send the cash, because by the time you come to Western Union, then take them
yeah,
fee, and everybody about 4 different people take your fee before you actually get the money and all of
yeah,
that. Just put the money on the card. And so the
yeah.
more merchants you have now, is more it actually makes sense, and it's a
Hmm.
convenience thing too.
Yeah. It.
Convenience for your audience, and you're actually modernizing other business, but actually generating sales. for these other
Right.
businesses.
So in building this business, there's something that I had realized through this whole experience, and it's something that I coined internally as a joke, but
Mhm.
it's true when I say convenience is a commodity. So essentially, a commodity is anything that can attract value.
Yeah.
So when you create a product that is super convenient for people to use and it's solving a problem, then you create value and people will pay for that commodity, right? And that's essentially what we have done with gift cards, because you rightly said, somebody, you want to give a gift card, you're in Mobile and the person is in Kingston, or you're overseas and the person is in Jamaica. How do you get this value, monetary value to them, right? You could go Western Union, you could different ways and means, but what is the easiest way to do it?
Yeah.
Send them a gift card.
Send them a gift
So
card.
exactly. So that's essentially one of our mantras. And every product that we build, it must be around convenience.
Yeah. Cool. I mean, there's so many things happening with just this one, with the one, you've created this one product, and this one product has so many, there's so many ways that this product actually impact the market. But apart from the merchants that you've generated, what has been the general feedback from the people who are actually using the gift cards? So the persons who are, gifting the gift cards, and the persons who are getting these gift cards. What has been
Oh
the general sentiments and response to gift
man,
me?
I mean honestly, we have built a lot of brand affinity
Mhm.
organically. Like I don't know, people just literally just love the brand,
Yes.
because it has a touchy feely, type of thing to it, and it, as I say, it solves a big problem. So we have had instances whereby one and few times, someone may go to a merchant and say the merchant has a new cashier at the front, and that cashier may not be too versed in redeeming the gift card. Customers have reached out to us and say, hey, you know, um, they don't even, they will say, hey, this merchant, I was unable to do that. They're not really blaming Gift Me, you know,
They're
they're
blaming the
blaming,
merchant.
exactly, because they have used Gift Me in other different places and it works perfectly, right? So the sentiment is very good.
Mm.
People love the brand, people love the how they can gift easily, and it's just convenience for them. So definitely, and also our corporate customers, again, we have solved a big problem for them,
Mhm.
whereby before they would have to go out and physically get a bunch of gift cards from wherever, give them to
Mm.
their staff physically, and get it to them via beer or something of the sort.
Yeah.
They can simply go into the platform and send 1,000 gift cards in one go.
Yeah,
So
and that's
definitely.
amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So, what else have you guys been up to over the last year, and how else have you grown
Yeah, man.
as you
So,
said, a tech startup?
right. So, right now, what we are mostly focused on is building out the core infrastructure and building out the core product, which we have done so, and, improve on the overall experience.
Rashidi, tell the people, we really why you telling people them, or you're getting money. You get money for US money. Tell the people what that part, because we don't know why you're not on top of that. I don't want to talk about. You get money
I
for
mean,
money the other
yes,
day. You were able
yes,
to, yeah,
we raised,
raise money for money.
we raised, I mean, I wouldn't say a whole for money, but we raised some money, right?
Rashidi,
um,
really? I saw the figure, sir, and it was in US dollars.
Yes, so we raised some money, and it helped us to pretty much extend and build out the product some more.
Mhm.
And honestly, the way we raised that money was, it may not be, I can't be tell the entire story over this call, but it was really, the investor reached out to us, um, and pretty much said, I like what you guys have going, let us have lunch.
Woo.
And yeah, like that's how it happened. And we said, well, I mean, yeah, we're actually looking to raise money. It's surprising that you reached out to us. And we went to lunch. We discussed, the product, where we're going, where we Give Me can go. And he was very impressed, that a bunch of young guys could sit down and take an idea and build it out and have actual users,
Yeah.
and monetizing this idea. And but there and then we shook hands, and the rest was history.
Yes, was
But I mean,
history.
if I tell you that it was a traditional go ahead and pitch and do up a
Yeah,
deck,
venture
and
capital,
yeah,
pitching,
it didn't happen like that for us.
accelerator.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, the next,
y'all.
yeah, accelerator, incubator. So it didn't happen like that for us. In the early instance, in our next round of funding, it may happen like that. When we're going for some, big,
Bigger,
big,
bigger
big, big.
US dollars.
Right,
Yes.
right, right. So in that retrospect, definitely. But it was kind of a what we call Cinderella story race.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
what's interesting about that too, because I was just talking to, I don't know if you had tuned in for the first part of the show, where it's talking about positioning. Positioning is so important, and this is what happens when you position yourself. You are able to jump on an opportunity because you're out there doing what you're doing, position yourself in a young market, carving out a niche for yourself in that market and becoming visible and relevant. You see, guys, every single thing I said earlier about this, the visibility, relevance, and timing strategic framework can apply to Gift Me. They became visible, they came relevant, and they got their timing right, because
Yeah.
the time that you guys launched was at the going into a second year of COVID. And I remember reading and it's saying that, the companies that will survive and thrive during COVID are the companies. There were three things. I think one was, it was convenience, comfort, and something else. So you guys would fall under the convenience category. So companies that provide convenience for people, they would survive and
Hmm.
thrive during COVID. And mind you guys, so you guys, in fact, you guys launched and is thriving because of that. So you got your timing right. There was a good time for you to push this thing and launch it out. And then everybody in Jamaica was running around like chickens with their head cut off, because again, half of them don't have a website, they don't have much digital presence. I think we lost Rashidi there. Hoping he comes out. Here he goes,
Sorry,
right?
sorry about that.
That's fine. And so, somebody, guys, you never know who you're watching, which is why it's important for you to become visible to the right people. Somebody saw what they were doing, was watching, and they're like, I like this. Want to put some money in this because I see the vision, I see what is
Yes.
happening, and they were able to get what if money when don't want to tell because but it's already done people, so they have to Google it. What if
Here, the one.
US money worth
Here,
of
the one sec.
investment?
Here, the 1 second. As him having a issue with my cam. 1 second. All right.
Sure,
1 second.
right? Yeah, and he was able to gain investment from that. So, guys, that's a lesson in positioning your brand. So while Rashidi sorts out his camera issue, because we're gonna wrap up, guys. You need to go and check out Gift Me. They have an app. Go and download the app. And if anybody wants to gift me anything for Christmas, I don't know if you have a one where you can just put a money on a Mackenzie, like a credit card, Rashidi, or Mackenzie, a debit card. That would have been nice. But if not, then a gift me card would do just fine, because I like movies and I like to go to movies.
Yes,
So
Kida. So,
anyway,
so
guys, yes. So
sorry
you're
about
back.
that.
Yes. So
Right. So,
Rashidi, I have a card where somebody can just put money on and I can just use it. Okay.
yeah. So it's called the Give Me Smart Card, right?
Oh, there is
And
one.
yeah. So
Oh,
the Give Me
okay.
Smart Card, and if you go on our website, that's what the name of it is, the Give Me Smart Card. So
Right.
when they purchase they put whatever amount they want to put, right? 25,000, 10,000, 15,000, 5 grand, whatever it is, the
Mhm.
person receives that in their email
Yeah.
or via text message. They click the link, opens it up, and they will see all the merchants that it can be used at.
Yeah.
So it actually works just like a virtual debit card, to be honest, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So right
That's
there. So
cool.
if you click
This
buy
one?
gift cards, yeah,
Okay.
and then you click scroll down.
Oh, this
You
is
see,
it?
sorry, scroll up. Yeah, the red one to the left. Yes.
This one. Give me
Yeah.
smart e-gift card.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
you
Mm.
can see you can click locations.
And
The
this is everybody that uses it.
everybody where you can redeem it.
Ooh, let's go, guys. You can use it my gas.
Yeah.
You can use it my gas. Look at that. This is awesome. Pair one and a day to the one with none to yeah. But like
Yeah.
this. This is a lot of place though. This is everybody. Tracks
Yep.
are records, tutti frutti. Yeah. This is nice. So so you can literally use this as like a credit card or a card, a money card, whatever you call those. Right? Rashidi?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Right. And then you have the foodie smart card. What is that one?
So that one is pretty much for the food lovers. So it can be used at all our restaurants and
Oh,
cafes.
restaurants. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you meant supermarket. So this is restaurants and
hmm
cafes,
hmm
and then you have the sweet tooth smart gift card, and this is for
The
like
dessert,
desserts and
Devon
pastries.
House. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you
Okay.
scroll down now, you'll see all our brands.
All the brands, which is look like just about everybody at this point. Seller
Yeah.
Aid. Oh, cool. Lee. So I can literally go shopping at the supermarket
Yep.
with this
Yep.
brand.
Yep.
So so the max amount you can put on the card is $10,000?
No, 50,000.
Oh, okay. So I can literally put whatever amount here. So the max amount I can put on any one of the cards is $50,000.
Yeah.
Is there any plans to increase that over time? Or is
Um,
there some kind of legal thing with
Not
that or
necessarily. No, not
regulatory thing?
necessarily. But that
Okay,
there's not a regulatory thing. But we're in a digital space and we accept payments online, which attracts fraud.
for sure.
So that's one way to mitigate against our any whatever liabilities or exposure that we may have. You know, you know. So that's so we put a limit on it. We don't want anybody trying to buy a $500,000 gift card and
Because then, yeah,
it slips
because
through the crack and then yeah,
right. And if you guys know anything about what's happening online, people are buying gift cards for different things, scamming, using it as a
yeah.
scam, and then
Oh,
trying to
absolutely.
and then
And
get the money off the
and then
card.
one of the things that for our merchants, one of the benefits of being with GiveMe is that the merchant does not stand any liability, right?
Right.
So all that liability is on us.
Is
If
always back on you guys. So let me
yeah,
ask you a question because something just occurred to me. What if I'm a creator and I want to create premium content and I want people to be able to access that premium content? But instead of going to like a Patreon, could I set up a gift me card where persons can gift me money on a card as a way to pay for, like, like buy me a coffee kind of thing?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Is that how can I create my own gift card for something like that?
So if you wanted to create a gift card for yourself as a
For
as a
like Digital
merchant
Jamaica, yeah.
for Digital Jamaica and
What
somebody
I
buy
want is like, for instance, people want to support you because you create value for them, or whatever, and they could
mhm.
get a Digital Jamaica gift card, or I can create something where they can put money on the card. I don't know how it would work, but is that
So
possible?
all right, so the thing is, if you wanted to become a merchant as Digital Jamaica, right? Is it that you want him to use the card to pay for your services, or you
Yes,
want to?
yes, it could be for that. Yeah, like I'm a course and I want them to use the card to pay for the
Oh, yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That's
okay.
possible. Yes, that's possible. Yes.
So you guys hear that? If you're a creator
Yeah.
and you want to create a card and become a merchant and create a card so people can support you via that way, then that is possible. It's just
One hundred
something that
percent
I
possible.
I I I,
Yeah.
I thought of. Rashidi,
Yeah.
what else is happening with Give Me? What are some of the other plans that you have? What can we look forward to from
All
Give
right.
Me
So,
in
I can't
2023?
I can't tell you the entire roadmap, right? However, I
For
can tell you
sure.
that our newest product that we just launched is what we call our deals, digital coupons.
Right.
So pretty much you'll be able to go on our website and if a merchant has discounts up 20%, 30%, whatever it is, you can
You
then
can
claim a
redeem
deal.
it. Oh, okay.
Claim a deal, it goes to your phone in the form of like a digital coupon. And then when you go to the merchant, you can redeem it at the merchant. Right? Yeah, so definitely we just launched it like 2 weeks ago, so you may not see a lot of merchants on it as yet. However, coming new year, we will have all the restaurants, the cafes, the this, the that, so you can easily go on, one-stop shop. You can know before you can only go and get gift cards, but now you can go and also get deals. Everybody likes to save money,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So that's pretty much what we have in
So
the
virtual
for the year
digital
coming.
coupons that you can
Mm-hmm.
redeem in store. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What else
Right.
do you have coming up in 2023 that we need to look forward to?
Rewards, points, that type of thing. That's
Yeah.
something that we're coming with. That's gonna be in our app, so you can get instant cashback points from these merchants.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So listen, I'm so super proud of you guys. I said it the first time you came on. I'm saying it again. I'm super proud of you guys. Super proud of what you guys doing. It's an ingenious thing, really. You're going, how come nobody ever thought? Because when you do it, it's like that makes sense. Why is it that nobody has done that before?
You know,
But you guys were the ones to do it.
some of the best ideas are not necessarily rocket science ideas. It's really
They're
finding
not.
opportunity in the space that you're
They're
operating
not.
in, and
That's for
finding
damn
solution
sure.
for that problem. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. And you guys were the ones who did it, and you guys have been doing it world class. And I'm super proud of you. Thank you so much for being on the show with me, Rashida. Please to tell people where they can go and follow you guys, find you guys, get more information.
Sure. So our website, shopgiftme.com. We're on Instagram, as giftme. We're on Twitter as giftme. We're on TikTok as shopgiftme,
Mhm.
you know, LinkedIn as well. So we're on all platforms.
And as you guys saw, we just went to the website. There's a link if you're a corporate entity and you want to create your own cards. There's a link
Yeah.
there as well. Rashidi, super proud of you. Thank you so much. And I hope you make Wally. I hope you guys are able to raise Wally more US enough dollar. And
I
you
hope so
guys
too.
can expand in regionally and then who
Yes.
knows, internationally.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you so much,
Yes.
Rashidi.
Thank you, Kadia. It was a pleasure and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too. All right, guys, that was Rashidi Thomas, and he is the COO and co founder of Give Me, a tech startup company, totally nice, a tech startup company who has just been able to land Starbucks as one of their newest merchants. And if you are a Jamaican company trying to do business with a multinational company, you know the rigors that they put you through. Hmm. So for them to be able to land that big fish, as I said before, it's a big feather in their cap, and we're super proud of them. But guys, that's it for our show today. Thank you so much for joining in while I attempted to go live on Instagram and here. Craziness. But guys, yes, check out the Digital Learning Hub, check out our YouTube channel, check out our Instagram channel, join the community. Yeah, let's learn, grow, and thrive together online, right? Yes. So until next week, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you're listening on a podcast, thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate you guys. And I will see you next week. Bye.